is. Wait, was that Prince?
Yes. He decided to leave.
Okay.
What is that?
This episode of Still Dope is brought to you by Microban Sanitizing Spray. And this is not a paid advertisement. This is just me bringing my can of Microban out because this season of Married at First Sight has been so disgusting that
Grinding.
I sanitize my soul. So one time.
Grimy season.
Yeah,
Hi,
pretty
my love.
grimy.
Hi, my
Pretty-
loves. How are you?
Hi,
Pretty
man,
grimy.
How are you?
Let's toast our. We'll wait for Chris to come back. We'll have to
Because
toast
this
our
is the
glasses.
first time you see me with an
We got to
alcoholic
toast to the
beverage.
end of the season, and we got a twofer. We got ourselves a twofer this week of the reunion part 2 and the Where Are They Now. But we're officially are toasting to the end of fucking Married at First Sight, fucking Houston. I'm over it.
Let's cheers to that shit.
It sucked.
Cheers. Clink, clink to the clink, clink.
It sucked. Let me take my one.
Yeah. It was really disappointing. I think the people on this year were just
Not compatible. Not compatible.
Not even not compatible, but I don't know.
Crazy, out of pocket, manipulative.
Yeah.
Skanky. I mean, controlling. It was just the worst group of people. The worst group.
Let me just say this. When it first started, I'm like, first impressions, I was kind of like every Married at First Sight. They show their best self, kind of like a job interview. You know what I mean? Or a date or a first date. Everybody shows their best self. So I couldn't really judge these people, but legit, after they said I do and got to the honeymoon and got back to Houston and got back into their normal lives, this season, these people showed their whole natural asses, with the exception of Gil.
Well, and when I say crappy, because I still had favorites. Like, I still like Bao. I still like her.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Rachel. And I honestly think, I don't know, for me, honestly, Rachel, I know, she came out as one of my favorites. I don't know why. I really did like her. And I didn't dislike Brett. I just thought that she just didn't have much to work with. The storyline was boring. She didn't seem like a bad person. So those 3 character-wise, I like them. The character-wise. The rest of them, like even Zach, I was amazed how I went from cheering him so hard to like, this guy is a scum. Scum. That was my last impression of him.
Well, let's get into this reunion part 2, because that shit was some painful ass shit. When I tell you, I watched that and I wanted to once again throw my shoe at the TV, and I wanted to fuck shit up. I didn't want to sit here and trip. I wanted to beat the living shit out of Johnny and Marla. They are, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with them. They are pieces of shit. The way they showed up and showed out there was just completely disrespectful.
Oh yeah, honest. And that was the thing about it. You can't tell me as an adult you didn't intend to be disrespectful in that way. It was your mission, and we saw Johnny all along. He likes to go for the gutter. He he has he can't fight, but he can use those fucking words to break you down, and he's so slick and sly. Oh, he turned out to be the ultimate worm snake.
But at the end of the day, this is what offended me the most. You married someone this isn't a regular dating show where it's like, just like some stupid ass dating show where you go on random dates with people and it doesn't work out, you move on and you can joke about that shit. These are real life weddings and marriages, and the lack of respect that I saw with them, even though their marriages ended, at least have some sort of respect. You married this man, even though after 14 days you said, I don't want to be married to him anymore. The least you could have done is shown that man some respect
Some
on
grace.
that, and not be all giddy sitting next to Johnny, leaning into Johnny, pinky holding. Did y'all peep that shit? Because I had to rewind that shit like 10 times. Sarah and Johnny are got their friggin' pinkies interlocked on the couch, and they're like, oh, and they're talking about their vacations and how much fun they're having. They just, it was as if you spit it on your marriages. And I'm glad that Gil got up and walked out, because I thought at that moment Gil could have been that angry black man and punched the shit out of Johnny.
And Johnny would have deserved it.
Yep, he would have deserved it. I just was just devastated, and my heart sank for Gil during that episode. Yeah. I mean, the first episode, part 1, I mean, it was devastating. But this one was just basically like a fuck you to Gil's face from Merla and Johnny. And I didn't like that. And I was disgusted. Chris, would you like to interject anything?
I know. About your favorite person?
About your girl?
I mean, for Gil to sit there and listen to, I mean, he's still, first of all, and he said it himself, he went in there with the intentions. He was telling to the people, saying that if he's going to go into this thing, he's going to go into to try to be the exemplar person in a marriage. He's going to make the marriage the way that a marriage should be, and he wants to be the ideal for a husband in a marriage. Now, he was dealt with a woman who was a lot of work. Gil put his hard hat on, got his tool belt, and he said, well, I guess I'm a carpenter now. I guess I got to fucking build this thing. I wasn't good at it before, but I got to do something about it, because this is who they chose for me to be my wife. Mm-hmm. I'm part of the process. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it to my fullest extent. I'm going to open up myself. I'm going to compromise, and I'm going to open up my heart to my wife, because this is a woman that they think I could spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
And I respect their choice. Even I may not see it. She may not be what I want in terms of gold digging and all that kind of stuff, but they said this is one, she'd be good for me. I'm going to do it. And he works so fucking hard. I told you from the very beginning, I said, there's only one man in the world that can have as much patience dealing with this bitch, and that's Gil. And I'm like, hey, man, you doing that work. You are doing the work. And even though you put the little jabs in there, whatever, even after the fact, when they said, oh, I don't like him talking about me being, bougie and this, that, and the other, oh, but I am a diva, and this and that. I'm like, well, make up your mind. Mm-hmm. Are you a diva or are you not a diva? Because you act like a diva. You treated him like a fucking diva. So you are a diva. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. You're a disrespectful wife and a disrespectful woman, and disrespectful to the process throughout the whole process. If you didn't want to be part of the whole thing, then you should have got out from the very beginning. When they showed her and all the times when she was like, no, I'm not doing that. Did you see the fuck?
Yes.
No, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? I'm not doing that. I never done body shots before. No, I'm not putting a body floor. All of that stuff. If you don't want to be part of the process, then you should have been in the first place. If you weren't going to accept a man who bent over backwards to scratch your nasty diva Louboutin, bad eyeshadow, greasy haired ass.
Greasy head.
If you can't respect this man who is a hardworking,
amen,
good-looking,
child,
patient,
preach,
compromising, giving man who has a good fucking heart, and you're gonna take him and look at him and then shit all, play him, and then shit all over him. Whatever you get in the future, I hope you get
tenfold.
It's coming to you. It's coming to you.
Okay, so Shahida and I were talking.
Sorry, I had to just get that out.
No, that was perfect.
Listen, Pastor Cal ain't got nothing on you, Pastor Chris, right now, because you just took it to church right there. I ain't gonna sit here and trip. Mm-hmm. Shahida and I were talking about this before we started recording. And I'm like, karma is a motherfucker, because I've been on the, social media, and she's going to be like the Chris Williams. Sorry, Chris. She's going to be the Chris Williams of last year. If she thought that she was going to parlay this experience into like some monetization with her Instagram or whatever, that's a wrap. Gil is about to blow the fuck up. Kevin said it like 100 times. You'll be fine. Gil will be fine. Gil is about to make a bunch of money. Every bit is following him on IG.
She might make some too, but it won't be on his level. It's like, that's why I keep saying it. I don't understand. I've been reading like Twitter too, and a lot of women really cape for her, which I don't understand, because her character was awful to me. A lot of women defended her and said that's what Gil gets, because he shouldn't have kept making fun of her being bougie and saying it every week. And I'm like, I don't get it. I didn't see him as being so super harsh with her. A lot of times it was playful. And like Kevin even pointed out, people in his family call him bougie all day.
I was going to say that.
Tease about it all day. And it's that kind of rubbing. She didn't seem to be bothered with it during the season. Did she? Remember when he would say it, he would call her bougie, they would both start laughing about it? She didn't seem to be bothered, but all of a sudden it was an issue. And I was very angry with Kevin because he didn't push her on that.
That's
he didn't push her on the reason that she really decided that should be over. If you felt that this man wasn't for you, how come we didn't read any of that? Something we're missing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There is something missing. I'll get to that in a minute. But with regard to him calling her bougie or what have you, I get it. I think women, and I agree with it to some extent. If she makes enough money that if she wants to buy Louboutin shoes, if she wants to buy Louis Vuitton purses and Gucci purses and all this, that, and the other, I don't give a fuck about that. If I'm her man, I don't give a fuck about that. But what my problem with her was, it was everything. Like, let's take the materialistic shit off the table. Bitch, if you can afford all that shit, great. Like Kevin said, I'm bougie. I like nice things too. I think all of us like nice things. If we can afford it, we're going to get it. But here's the thing with her that left a sour taste in my mouth was, you're with your husband. You go to someone's house and you just shit all over the place. You're like, I don't like being around people. I don't want to be around people. I don't do public things. I don't do this. I don't do that. Everything he was excited about. And it was the most minuscule shit. Like, he wasn't asking her to like go above and beyond. She's just like, nah. Like, I don't do body shots. Like Chris said, I don't do body shots. That's your husband. I don't like anal. But I was married and I tried it with my husband because he was my husband. If you're my husband, I will try anything with you. Yes, I just put my business in them streets because it is what it is.
what I don't, whatever the reason was, I would much rather him be like Ryan, her be like Ryan. Ryan, you could tell, was not into her, even though he didn't say it. He kind of tried. He was in the other. But Brett was under no illusion that they were going to go forward, or they were ever in love, or the relationship was going to work. Yeah. They stayed in their own lane. Oh, you're going to do that? Oh, okay, whatever. We know it's not working out now, but this, that, and the other. She led that man. Wait. She led that man on.
Yeah.
She led him on. Mm-hmm. For her to cry and to Dr. Pepper, he's the greatest thing. It's got to seep through to him. You know what I mean? If she's saying all this stuff to her, it's got to make, he's the best, you're the best, all that stuff that she said. And then, you know what? I'm done.
It's not for me.
Like, wait a second. I've invested myself in you.
Yep. He opened doors all the time, car doors, store doors, and house doors. He opened every single door for her. He bought her flowers every day.
Every week or something like that.
Everything. Yeah. Like I pray for somebody like that.
He is a very loving person.
He lets him go. There's something more to it. And back to the experts. When they had the experts on there with Gil and Merla, like they didn't grill her enough. It was like, oh, I think it's fear or this. No, there's something happened. There's some bullshit here, because I'm calling bullshit on the experts and I'm calling bullshit on Merla. And I'm kind of calling bullshit on Gil, because Gil ain't coming off out of pocket, because he knows what the fuck went down. But I'm saying the expert should have really got in Merla's ass, because you can't tell me you crying in front of Dr. Pepper talking about this man's the best thing since sliced fucking bread. And 14 days after you say you want to stay married, I want to stay married to my husband, you just cut his ass off at the knees. The motherfucker sold everything.
Why did she even say, I want to stay married? If she knew from the beginning,
right?
If she knew she wasn't attracted to him and that he was not the man for him, why say yes? Why lead that man on? He's obviously in love with you.
Why couldn't she have the relationship with her husband that she pursued with Johnny? That friendship. I want to be friends with my husband the way you are friends with Johnny. Why didn't you pursue your husband the same way? Granted, I saw joy and happiness with her, but she was on another level sitting next to Johnny.
She lit up like a Christmas tree every time Johnny parted his lips to say boo. She was all animated and all like, ooh, and ha, and yeah. She was never like that with Gil.
Which makes me think, like when you say the way, Chris, such a good point, that you would have preferred her to be like Ryan. She not only played Gil, but she played us. Because she manipulated us.
No, she played y'all.
I was pointing at Kanye.
She played us. She played us, Shahida, not Chris. Chris knew that shady bitch from day one. Okay.
And that was one of the things I said in the last episode. That was what bothered me most, is seeing her say yes and then seeing her, the last 2 weeks. It was, you played the whole network. You played all the fans. You played Gil. What's your end game? What are you trying to get out of this, Merla? Because like you said, I don't think it's going to be this big cash cow. She's going to get money, but it's not going to be.
Is that why she did it?
I don't know.
That's why she did it.
I have no idea.
Why do the whole thing if you're not going to trust what the people are trying to tell you?
Again, I agree.
Who else in the world could deal with her but Gil? He was perfect for her.
But here's again, why would you sign up for a show like this, or
Right.
any of the show. It's just not Married at First Sight. Let's just pull everything. The Bachelor, Bachelorette, all these fucking reality shows that are out there. Why would you sign up for a show like this? And
If you're not
Married at First Sight has been around for a long time.
right.
We know what this entails. So why would you sign up and go through this interview process, be selected, marry somebody, if now you're not willing to do the work?
And she also has to understand, you're right. You're exactly right. She also understands she's not going to find a rich motherfucker on Married at First Sight. There's no rich dudes. Who's rich and who's a rich dude that's been on Married at First Sight? Is Johnny maybe or whatever? Like, who's had the most money out of the? No, people are trying to have regular jobs. They're regular people that want to find love. If she wants a sugar daddy or this, that, and the other, why go to Married at First Sight for people who really want to work at being married?
But I have a question, because everybody on the social media pages are like, oh, I can see her why she would go with Johnny because Johnny has his money. How do we know that Johnny has money? Because he drives a Tesla? Who gives a fuck? I mean, Teslas are what, $75,000 or whatever, but he's an IT project. I mean, he's an IT project manager. I mean, I don't think Johnny's a millionaire. I mean, we don't know.
But she doesn't need that.
He could have a Tesla and he could be flossing, but how many people do we know that are out there flossing like that are fucking up to their eyeballs in debt? What I care about is, motherfucker, are you debt free?
Yeah, well, Johnny's too anal. Johnny's too anal not to be debt free.
Exactly.
So I think Johnny has money. I think Johnny has, or not has money, but probably makes six figures, and maybe not even above six. Who knows? But that's enough for her, though. That's enough for her in Houston. If there's someone who has money that can take care of her and take her on trips every now and then and pay for her Louboutins every now and then, which is six figures, that's what she wanted. She didn't want some guy who's making $50,000 a year. She didn't want that, regardless if he's going to be good to her.
I will say this with a credit to Pastor Cal, what he said to her, which I loved, when he said, "When I married my wife, I was broke. She was the breadwinner." And he said, "We got married and we built this together." And that was the realest shit. Because when you marry someone, it's not about the money. I mean, yeah, you kind of think about that stuff, as we all have, but you love this person. You want to build a life with this person and you grow together. I don't understand. Yeah, I'm just fucking done with her. And I hope Carmen
the leading on.
And I hope, I agree with you. I hope
just the leading on.
And I hope that Gil blows the fuck up and makes a hell of dollars and walks around with his red suit, sexy ass beard, and his Louboutin flats, and he's like, "Bye, bitch."
It's just not fair to lead him on. That's all I have a problem. But more than anything else, she can be whoever the fuck she wants to be, but don't lead the man on. Don't lead the man on. That's all I'm saying. Do not lead the man on.
Yeah.
Don't lead him on. If you see him falling in love with you, don't be like, nah, whatever, and then say yes. Don't say yes then. If you don't see a future with this man, don't say yes.
Right, and that's what I said the last episode that we had, where I was like, what upsets me the most is that you have a nice guy, a genuinely nice guy that is trying, and now she's fucked him so that he's going to meet the woman of his dreams, right?
Yep.
And he's going to screw her over because of Merle.
I don't know if he's going to screw her over.
I mean, because at the end of the day, and I know people say that when one partner is just disgusting, but it is a choice that you make, because I've been in bad relationships too, where, I felt like I was totally fucked up. And there might be bits and pieces of that hurt that you bring with you, but not enough for me to treat somebody else like shit because I was treated like shit. My thing is, I never want to treat somebody the way somebody did me when, I was or brought me to my lowest. I wouldn't want to do that. And I think he's empathetic enough. I think he's kind-hearted enough not to shit on another woman because of somebody like her.
I shouldn't say shit on. I will say put up your defenses, because
yeah, that's reasonable.
I was in a shitty marriage. I've been in a couple of shitty relationships, and I like to think I'm a good person. I like to see who, people for who they are. But let's not get it twisted. Y'all know me, and you already know the door is closed. My defenses are so up. I got a padlock on the door. Like, we're good here. I'm good. He might be nice, but I'm good. Eventually, he's gonna turn into shit. So we're out. I'm done. I retire.
I think he'll be open. I think he'll be open to something better after he heals. Because, and what was very surprising to me, he was very genuinely hurt. To me, that made Merla look a million times worse. While you're up here kikiing with this other man, and this man was genuinely in love with you and is hurt over it, sis.
No respect.
Sis,
None.
Such disrespect.
Karma is going to be nasty, and you do deserve to get it tenfold.
Yeah,
But can we get to Johnny?
And I was about to say with Johnny real quick. Go on, and we'll segue into that. But with Johnny real quick, he better watch his ass doing that shit. Because Gil got up and walked away and like, whoa, so something going on between you and Johnny? And they were like, this and the other. And that's when Gil walked up and walked away. If I was Johnny, I would have had a little bit more respect for their relationship and for Gil, the fact that he could kick the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like, you know what? Let's just move on, or, let's not really, like, she's a great friend, this, that, and the other. I don't want to disrespect what they had. He is disrespectful about Bao, about anything else except for Merla.
The thing is,
we better watch his ass.
He does. He really showed how depraved he was as a human being these last few episodes. And I was very disappointed that Kevin let him get away with a lot of shit. When he was talking about, Bao being manipulative and she's asking him why, she's like, she wasn't genuine. Let me tell you something. If I'm on TV, and I agree with her 110%, I'm going to sign up for this. But there are some things. I have children. I have parents. I have my coworkers. There's some things about me that they don't need to see on TV. And I don't want them to see that. I want to be between you and me. And she said some of those things she wanted it to be private. I get that 110%. And for anybody to say that she was being deceptive because of that, you would put all your business out in the streets like that? No. She was being very mature. She was thinking about her life, her career after these weeks are over. He had nothing. He had no reason, but he was searching, and Kevin let him have those cheap ass excuses. And he didn't even, I felt like at one point, support her in this fucking lame ass argument. We saw how he emotionally tore her down, and then he want to flip it and said that she tore him down. Fuck you, Johnny.
Yeah, no, and fuck Kevin too, because Kevin dropped the ball big time.
I think so.
They need to find, just like Jamie Otis was led to the door. They need to find a new host for that. After the show, whatever the hell it is, they need to find a new person to replace Kevin, because Kevin dropped the motherfucking ball on this one. He wasn't asking hard questions. He wasn't. He was shit. Straight garbage.
He was too soft out of the pot. He tried to come for Zach a little bit. Where was that energy for these other couples? Where was that energy for Merla? Where was that energy for Johnny? Zach was, to me, an easy one, but he dropped it.
So let's I gotta flip flop a little bit, because we had a twofer. We were talking about Johnny. We had a twofer last week with the reunion part 2, and then after that,
Where Are They Now?
Which was like, I spent 4 hours of my life from the hours of 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. watching all this shit. And I was laying in bed like, what the fuck? So
Johnny, I watched half of it.
All right, so
I watched none of Where Are They Now.
I watched it all.
Well, tell us, recap,
So
sis.
Johnny. All right, so the Where Are They Now just basically was another episode of Married at First Sight, and it was just kind of like following them as what was going on in their life when they were all hanging out. And one thing with regard to Johnny just can't get over Bao.
Thank you.
Claim you don't love her, you don't care about her, you know, Bao ain't shit, what have you. But Bao takes up a lot of headspace in Johnny's head.
Yep.
Because Johnny is like, you know, the best part of the Where Are They Now with regard to Johnny is now Ace Boone Coon with Sarah. Oh, we finally got to see Sarah.
Yeah.
He FaceTimed her on the computer, and him and Sarah were having a whole conversation. Bao done fucking excommunicated Sarah and is done with Sarah. They're no longer friends. And now Sarah and Johnny are fucking friends.
See, that's the thing. Something about his character.
You don't need enemies, huh?
Look how something about his character. It's like you like to be. He's like, is he fucking gay? Because like him and Merla, you know, Ace Boone Coon now. Then now him and Sarah. It's like you want to exasperate a situation and make it ugly by leeching yourself onto these different people that you know are kind of like bad situations. Like for Gil, maybe he felt like he doesn't owe Gil anything, but like Chris was saying, not respecting him on that level just shows how disgusting his character is. But that whole relationship with what's her name, Sarah,
yeah,
I don't know,
that was shady too.
Listen to me.
It made me hate him more.
And again, if you don't care about somebody, then stop talking about them. Their mere presence should not affect you. Like, listen, I could have a dinner party tonight and somebody could walk my ex-husband or an ex-boyfriend into my house right now. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I might be like, damn, I might look at my friend and be like, damn, the level of disrespect that you're just showing me right now. I have an issue with them. But I wouldn't give a shit about the ex because I'd be like, I'm over you. But in the Where Are They Now, every time they focused on Johnny and Bao was brought up, Johnny was like, that brings me back to a bad, like he's the victim here. And he was like, he
wants to be the good guy.
Yeah,
all the time.
He's letting Bao take so much headspace in his head that it's just like, really, motherfucker? Like, seriously? Johnny ain't shit.
He's not. I mean, it's amazing how he fooled us early on. You know, we were all invested in that relationship. We thought it was lovely. They look great together.
But you always said, Shahida, you get credit for that. You always like something about Johnny. You're like, I don't know. But you're like, you weren't sold on it.
I never liked him, but I really still was shocked at how disrespectful, how nasty his core is. And it just screams off of him. And I think his family knows exactly who he is. But you know, what can you do as a family member? But he's an awful, awful person.
He's horrible. And that's why him and Merla are BFFs, basically, because they're both fucking horrible people.
And he's trying to fuck her too.
I'm sure. If he hasn't,
you saw the thing. You saw the thing. He was like, "Oh, so you guys think?" And he goes, and she's like, "Oh, where?"
Yeah, she shut it down. Listen,
not really. She didn't really shut it down.
Yeah,
she kind of did a Johnny type thing,
which I thought was
disrespectful. Which was more disrespectful to your marriage and your husband. And then the fact that you all started out on this journey together. You, the guys hanging with the guys, like Johnny, you have no bro code? None.
Absolutely none.
Johnny's about Johnny.
Well, speaking of code, let's get to let's briefly, you know, the part 2 reunion was all I watched it for was for Merla and Gil, that continuation with the experts, and of course Jose and Rachel, which they're boring at this point. I don't even want to discuss.
What's funny about the Jose and Rachel thing is that he's really trying really hard. They addressed his being gay.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes, like shows. Some people are saying
that was on the reunion season 2.
Yeah,
part 2. I mean,
some of the things are saying he's like, oh, I don't understand why people are saying that.
You don't, because I get it.
But I was the one who said I never subscribed to that part that he could be or may be gay.
I'm still gonna admit it.
Jose has multiple overly gay tendencies. I'm just
and that might be true, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he wants penis in the ass action. It just means that he might just have
well, maybe he's a top.
Women.
Maybe he's a top. Anyway, but also it's funny how he's more in control right now. Rachel's Rachel's in control of that relationship right now, which is interesting, taking this control away from him. And he really wants her to be there, but she's kind of like, yeah. But he's really working hard.
He wants her to be there, and he is working hard. I'm sorry I cut you off, Tanya. Were you about to say something?
I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
That he's working hard, but I think the thing is that Rachel just can't get who he is at the core off of her mind. So at the end, I think if she stayed with him, even though I think I read that they really legally separated in October, if she stayed with him, she would do, what's that Tyler Perry movie where the woman used to get beat by her husband, and then he had that accident?
Oh yes.
He would do one of them moments on her. What was that damn movie?
I forgot the name of the movie.
I can't think of it.
You gotta Google it now because I can't remember.
One thing we got to say is, let's say a prayer and a memorial for one of the best couples ever on Married at First Sight. Just went for divorce. The two nerds.
Yeah.
Amelia. Yes. Amelia and Bennett. Yeah, Bennett and Amelia.
Just gotta.
Were they like 2 or 3? What
they were 2 years ago.
They were the season
2 years ago.
Yeah, with
Woody.
I don't know.
Woody and Amani, right?
Yeah,
Woody and Amani.
They were but it doesn't surprise me. Were you surprised to hear about their?
No,
kind
I
of
wasn't surprised.
Yeah,
I wasn't surprised. I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to touch upon Rachel and Jose.
Okay.
Because I get it that he fucked up when he locked her out and he showed his natural ass because she called him Johnny. Now that we know the whole story, she called him Johnny on the rooftop.
Well, she was listing the people from the show.
Hmm?
She was listing the people from the show. That's why she said Johnny.
But here's the thing. He apologized, and you chose to make it work with him. At some point, maybe it's just me, I'm tired of hearing about that shit. I'm tired of her friends, like in the Where Are They Now, when he met with her friends, and they keep bringing it up. It's like beating a dead horse. Bitch, either you're gonna forgive me and we're gonna move on, or you just can't get over it and I got to go. It's the same with Michaela, and God forgive me, but I know I'm not the only one. I am tired of Michaela using her daddy's death as an excuse for why she is the fucked up person that she is. Because we've all experienced some massive trauma in our lives. Okay? I've experienced some massive trauma and devastation in my life, as both of you. Do I emit that shit on other people? Am I breaking shit up? No. You got to have some self-control. Stop using your shit as excuses. I'm tired of hearing about Rachel harping on Jose locking her ass out and being disrespectful.
I agree with
tired
you.
of Michaela talking about her father getting killed and her abandonment issues of her father dying. Trust me, honey, your father didn't choose to die. So you can't stop saying abandonment because he didn't abandon
that
you.
doesn't make
He
sense.
got killed. He didn't abandon you. He got murdered in an accident. I'm tired of people using shit as crutches. Get over yourself. Look at yourself. You better.
I agree with you 100% on Michaela that she could have sought therapy on that long time ago, you know. But I don't agree about Rachel, for the simple fact is that it's so fresh, it's new, and I'm sorry, it's like it's like one of those things. Like, okay, let me tell you a funny story. It's not really a funny story. I went into labor with my first son, my second child, right? My husband took the day off to be with me, right? We knew it was going to be a long time or whatever. He went out at 8:00 to go to the let's say he went to go get fucking bread. Did not come back until 9 p.m. I was in labor all day by myself with a 1-year-old. Michael was 1, with a 1-year-old. Had to have a police escort to the hospital, you know, at 9:00 that night. And he made it to, you know, the delivery room at that point, but he was.
Oh, wait a second. How did you get to the hospital?
I had police escort and my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law. So my mother, I was in my mother-in-law's car. I was in my mother-in-law's car, and the police escorted us because we lived in Brockton at the time to Massachusetts. It was like, you're not going to make it, but I want to have my baby here. So he wasn't there from 8 until I left at 9 p.m. And that's just one of those things, like with Rachel's situation being locked out. I never mentally got over that. And I understand exactly how she felt about that, because there's a level of anger and disappointment and betrayal that you feel. You locked me out the fucking house. You didn't know where I was. You didn't know what I needed. I get that. I get that on her end. So I agree with you about Michaela using that as a crutch. But for Rachel, I see that as that pivotal moment where she's like, this is this person's character and I can't let it go. I cannot let it go.
And it's also not just the action, but it's not just the action. It's the intent behind the action. And the reason also why she's thinking, because he never fucking said, oh shit, you know what? I fucked up. I should have, yes, I did that shit. It was fucked up. Yes, yeah. He's still kind of like, yeah, well, you know, I didn't, he's still holding on to whatever. So just fuck them.
No, listen, Rachel, I get where you're coming from, Shahida, but you and Rachel's situation was two different things. Rachel ain't got no kids with this man. She's got no ties to this man. She's got no ties to this man. Let it go. You either let it go and move on, or...
But I think she wanted to try. She wanted to try. Like, I wanted to try and get over that. She couldn't. And that's why the marriage ultimately ended. And then also, remember, she's living with him and she's not feeling embraced in his space. You know, so that's another indicator to her. He hasn't changed much from when he told me to get the fuck out of the house that we shared together.
Yeah.
So I think that all plays into her. She just can't, and I get it. And she's probably over it now, now that she's done with him. But during that time, I think that just played in her head. And I get that.
Okay. So, all right. Shahida, you didn't watch the Where Are They Now? Chris, you got halfway through it. But we got to talk about, I don't even want to talk about Brett and Ryan on the reunion. I want to talk about Brett and Ryan in Where Are They Now? And I don't even care about Brett at this point, because Ryan, this is the funniest shit. Ryan, we all apparently know Ryan's type now. Ryan's type is an ironing board. Straight up and down. No tits, no ass, no nada.
That doesn't surprise me.
He went on a date. Oh, child. He hooked up
on a date.
He went on a date. Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Okay,
but
okay.
I'm spilling the tea because we're doing our podcast. He hooked up with his friend Maggie, who's from Dallas. He went to Dallas, met her, hung out with her. She drove to Houston to have dinner with him. And when I saw her, I was like, so that's Ryan's type. Well, goddamn. The bitch didn't even have mosquito bites. I mean, it was just like my iPhone. This was her. This was Maggie. That's Maggie.
Oh my God.
And the disrespect of Ryan, Chris, like, how you gonna take a woman out on a date and you don't even know what the fuck she eats? He took her to a sushi. I can't. My cheeks are hurting. I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, I've been laughing so hard after that. He took her to a sushi place. And he's like, oh, I've been wanting to come here forever. It's so good. And she's like, yeah, I don't even eat sushi.
That is something you need
Don't
to
you
ask.
think you might want to ask? Like certain types of food.
Communication skills.
Thank you. Certain types of food. And I'm sorry, Chris. And while he's ordering for them, and all he talked about with her was Brett, like his marriage. And she's sitting there with her little chopsticks, like looking at him like, really, motherfucker? Like, I don't want to hear about your bitch, your wife.
Wow.
I was just like, oh, Ryan, you're going to be single forever. Ever.
Why would you even bring up Brett and Ryan when the big elephant on the table is Shahida doesn't know?
What?
About the date between Zach.
I was getting to that.
Well, you should lead with that.
That was going to be the ending.
All right,
Well,
go
tell
ahead,
me
go
now.
ahead.
Girl. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Go on. I'm gonna let you hold that. I talked about Ryan and his shitty ass.
So
I talked about Ryan and Maggie. Shahida, when you watch, all you're gonna see is Maggie.
Ryan and Bao and Zach have been hanging out.
Okay.
Ryan, they're playing pool and stuff, having fun this and there. Ryan leaves, and Zach and Bao are there. And Zach says, hey, would you go on a date with me? To Bao.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
well, wait a minute, Chris. You left out a big piece because there was like the what do you call it? The confessional where Zach is talking to the camera to us basically, and he's like, me, Ryan, and Bao have been hanging out, and we've established this really cool bond, friendship. The three of us, we have like a weekly thing where they go hang out and they shoot pool, do whatever. And he admitted that he was kind of fond, he was kind of smitten and starting to like Bao. So then that's when it leads up to Ryan leaves to go walk his dog because the dog's at the house, and he's like, I gotta go take Maisie out. And then Zach's like around the pool table, like, so I gotta ask you this. And that's when he goes, okay, go ahead, Chris.
No, so he asks her out. And they go on a date. They go on a date. So obviously the rumors that we heard about
were true.
People seeing them dating were true.
Are they still dating?
I think so. But here's the thing. All I'm going to say is they went out on the date. I'm sorry to cut you off. And I know I'm sorry to that one YouTube fan that's going to cuss me out and put a comment on our page.
You did it. I was trying to get the words out.
I have to say that I kind of like them together. I am like team Zach and Bao. Zach was like, they went on a date. Bao showed up and showed out. She had her little red dress on with her heels. Her hair was nice. She looked good.
Bao looks good.
Bao knows how to dress. I give that bitch some credit. Bao
knows how to wear some red lipstick.
Yes, and she needs to show Merler a few things.
Mhm.
But Bao showed up looking beautiful. Zach showed up and they had I literally was on the date with them. Like, I want a date like that. Like, I was watching it like, I want to be asked out on a date like that, where you have drinks and nice food and good conversation. And he's complimented her all night. And she was just soaking it up like a sponge. And I was like, I like them. I like them together.
I want better for her.
Am I the only one? Chris, what do you think? Do you like them?
He showed me who he was.
No, but Shahida, look, honestly, if Michaela was fucking normal, they'd still be married, they'd be working on their marriage, and they would be together. If Michaela was fucking normal.
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And maybe
the reason why I think he showed out, the reason why I feel like he was showing out is in total reaction to Michaela being motherfucking crazy. If they had put him together with Bao from the beginning, Bao and him or whatever, if she was just sane, he wants to be married, he wants to be in a relationship, he wants to do all those things, he'd be fine. You wouldn't necessarily see the young, I think a lot of it is the immaturity aspect of him, of trying to get some ass, and he fucked Michaela again like later, and they lived together for a second, and all that maturity stuff. But if he was in a committed relationship and was married to Bao, he'd work hard to work it out. He wants to be married. He wants to work hard at it. I think everything with Michaela, you can't even. I'd act fucking crazy if I was married to her, Michaela.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think what we saw of Zach being an asshole about certain things is in total response to some of the shit that Michaela pulled. He went crazy. I think he really went legitimately like, I really want this, and I really don't know what to do with it. If she was not nutso, I think he would have been fine. I think you would have liked Zach a lot more if Michaela was sane.
And all I'm going to say to piggyback on that, Shahida, before you say anything, is you need to watch the Where Are They Now episode, because they touched upon Michaela. And I'm sorry. That bitch is still cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, I believe it. 110%. I mean, you see it. She exposes it. She can't hide it, that she is just crazy. And until she gets some professional help, I don't see that changing. My problem with Zach is, and maybe it is an age thing, and I feel like he might have lied about a few things too, that was easy for us to believe because, we think she's crazy. Well, we know she's crazy, but after he said no, and then come over to my house, and then 7 days, and those things are like red flags to me. So my thing is, I want Bao to be happy. I want her to have a mature relationship. I don't think that he is there on a maturity level yet. I don't think that he's there. He's some growing.
I think honestly he was going back to his wife because the sex was pretty fucking good, and she's crazy.
But didn't he say he only had sex with her once?
Yes.
Well, during
the 1 month anniversary. The 1 month anniversary. See, I agree with you, Shahida, in that Zach fucked up. Like, Zach dropped the ball. That whole reading with the decision day, when he read her the letter and he was telling her, like, listen, any man that can look at you and say, I think outside of my mother, I think you're an amazing woman behind my mother.
Yes.
If a man says that to me, then please believe me, my brain is registering, this motherfucker loves the shit out of me. Because if he's comparing me to his mom and put me on his mother's level, especially if he has a good relationship with his mother, because we already know Zach and his mother are thick as thieves. So if you are going to compare me to your mother, then I'm looking at you like, oh, motherfucker, I'm gonna marry you, and I'm gonna let you do anal. Okay, let's go back to that. But no, but I'm saying for him to flip the script, he was shady on that one. Like he crying, giving her all that, and then she says yes, and then he says no. And then they leave, and then they hook up, and then he lets her stay with him for like a week or two or whatever that she said. And I'm just like, what's going on here? That is a classic toxic relationship. The two of them are just toxic as fuck, fucking with each other.
He's also bringing that behavior into another relationship. I mean, because I get it. I know that she's crazy or whatever, but you kept entertaining it. Where was, like, I felt like if that was you or I or Chris, we would have been like, you know what? I'm not. He had so many outs. He had so many clear outs. And if somebody's crazy, I'm like, I'm not going to keep tempting fate with this crazy ass person.
And I'm not trying to be friends with exes, period. End of story. I shouldn't say, let me backtrack. I am friends with one of my exes because I'm at an age now where I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, we didn't establish nothing together, but we're better as friends as opposed to lovers. You know what I mean? But everybody else, I'm like, no, I'm not going back. Like, when we're done, if you look me dead ass in my face, if Zach said that shit to me or you, Shahida, we'd be classy about it. We'd be like, okay. We might be a throat punch to the throat. We might be like, oh shit. But we were like, okay. But I'm walking out. I'm walking out, and you will never see me again.
I just think that Gil
have a drink.
I just think that Gil has misguided emotions, and because
Zach?
he's young. I mean,
Zach.
I think Zach has misguided emotions because he's young. He has so much love and to give, and wants it so bad, and this, that, and the other, that when Michaela came along, I think she scrambled his fucking brain a little bit, because he's like, I want this, and you're great, but you're fucking crazy. But I kind of like the sex with you, but you're crazy. But I got to do with you throughout the whole process. But then afterwards, man, maybe we can have sex again because you're crazy. Maybe you'll be better, but you're crazy. I think that's what his thing. You're right. He shouldn't have said all that. I think you're the most, since my mother. Yeah, it's just, it's too much. It was too much. He should have shut the fuck up.
That's what I said a couple of weeks ago. If he learned just to shut up, you don't think that.
But you learn that as you get older, though.
Yes.
True.
If someone asks you a question, you don't answer.
Listen, we're 50-something-year-olds podcasting about 20-something-year-olds. We're a little bit long in the tooth here on this one.
But you don't think that he was gaslighting her sometimes on purpose?
Oh, yeah. I think it was
so many clear reasons. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But it would be fun to gaslight her to see how crazy she could be. I think that's what happened. Was like, I think half of it. Yeah, I think he did. I think that's his immaturity, though, of him gaslighting her to say, "Oh, let me just put a little, a little flame on, and not trying to, because it was a lost cause in the first place." You know what I mean? He did gaslight her.
When he describes his other relationships, they're not too far off from what he had with her. So which makes me think that he likes that kind of drama to a point. He claims not to, but he invites a lot of it. He invited a lot of that drama with her. I mean, she clearly crazy. I'm not taking anything from that, but he clearly invited some of it. And I don't
want to call her crazy. I hate that word. I've said it. I've said it numerous times.
That whole crazy.
I don't want to label her as crazy, but
what you want to label her as?
I don't want to label her. Period. I just want her. I don't think that Michaela should have dealt with her dead daddy issues and her trauma before she entertained Married at First Sight. Because you can never, no matter what you go through, good, bad, or indifferent, you can't entertain. You can't expect, I shouldn't entertain. You shouldn't expect other people to help you with, I mean, if you're entering a romantic relationship with somebody, you shouldn't expect that person to be that rock for you. Like, I think she was expecting Zach to be a replacement of her deceased father and not ever leave her and coddle her like her sisters and her friends did, as we saw. And as you will see, Shahida, when you watch the Where Are They Now, all they do is coddle her ass. And yes, okay, yeah, okay, kiki. No one.
See, I don't even think that's the issue with her. I feel like the issue with her it might have something to do with her father, but I don't really think so. I think it's just a classic anger management issue. And when she loses her shit, she can say, well, I did it because of this. It's not because of that. It's because she doesn't know how to deal with her emotions on any level. Because I don't think it's with her personal relationships. I mean, her intimate relationships, man on woman. I believe it's all her relationships. I just don't think that she knows how to deal with conflict at all. And that she is conflict.
Yeah.
You know what?
She's using that as an excuse. It's not. I don't think it is.
Agreed.
You know what?
Management. What?
What's the matter,
girls? I'm done with the season.
We're done. But what we're gonna end this, and we're gonna listen. Next season is in Boston, and Lord, me and Shahida are here, and we are going to try to find these monkeys and be like,
they're filming right now.
I know
they're filming right now.
They're filming right now, and I gotta get up. We gotta get up in these streets, Shahida. But it's
so you need to find out like where the hotel or the condominium they're staying, or the complex. Yeah, the complex that they're all staying.
So I saw they're down by the seaport because I saw a couple of the clips of the weddings this summer when it was warm out, and they were down by the wharf, by the seaport over there, where the World Trade Center is. But
there are a lot of apartments over there that they
and there's a lot of empty ass $1 million apartments over there that nobody's buying except the Chinese people, because nobody in the state of Massachusetts or anybody anywhere can afford them fucking apartments. But I digress. But before we let this go, I just got to leave it one final jab on Merla that I was disgusted with and I'm disgusted with Lifetime for allowing this shit. How the fuck do you let this bitch walk into some pet store and throw her? Oh, the bitch bought a puppy.
Did you know about this?
Where they now?
I did, yeah.
How do you, I was watching this shit and she's like, I'm going to get a puppy. And I'm saying to myself, really, bitch? You didn't want nothing to do with this man's dog. Again, you're showing your ass. But how the hell, Lifetime, do you allow her to walk into nobody walks into a pet store and you're walking around looking at these poor ass animals in the little cubicles and shit. Why did she throw her credit card on the counter and buy a dog when she could have gone to the SPCA and adopted a dog? I don't understand that. As many animals that are out there that need homes.
It wasn't the dog that she wanted. She wants a purebred.
She could have gotten herself a cute little dog that would have grown. That would have been I don't know what a fucking purebred is. A dog is a goddamn dog as far as I'm concerned.
Not to Merla. She wants a purebred.
But again, Merla is about show. So what's very popular right now are little dogs with women, it's a status symbol, just like her Louis Vuittons are a status symbol. That dog is a status symbol.
But that,
by the way, did you see your new house?
Oh yes, I did. I like that little backyard pool thing. Oh, Shahida, you gotta watch that shit.
She has a new house, Shahida. So maybe she bought a house.
And
Well,
it's very, I don't see the inside. I saw like a little bit of the inside, the kitchen when she was preparing her drinks and shit, but she's got a nice little pool setup area back there. I ain't gonna hate on her on that. She got that shit on fleek. But back to the dog thing. That ain't even on Merla. That's on Lifetime. You're a fucking network. If I had a network, and I don't give a damn how bougie Merla was or whoever the fuck it was, I'd be like, you want to get a dog? You're going to have to go to the SPCA because I don't want PETA. I don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke from the SPCA or no one else.
She don't care. And they could have said that to her, but she don't
she's
care.
Merla. She ain't fucking Angela Bassett. She's Merla. I give a fuck if I own the whole network, bitch. You gonna get your dog from where I say you get your dog from, and you're going to get it from the SPCA.
Before we close out, can we just 1 minute on the professionals? Just 1 minute, because
we're done.
My disappointment in them was just Kevin was bad enough, but I'm gonna give Kevin a pass because in the last few seasons he was much better than what he displayed this time. So maybe he'll read and hear and the smoke, that because it wasn't just us that thought he sucked. It was a lot of people thought that he sucked at this reunion. But how tired, we should all be tired of these professionals. I mean, what is the process? Like, I feel like Michaela, if you're interviewing her sisters and they say we call her Hurricane K, dig into that. Dig into that. Ask some more in-depth questions. There needs to be more. And I know their excuse is we can't say what a person is going to be like 100%, but you can do better than what you've done the last few seasons. It's been pure shit. And this was the worst.
Oh, that picture, I already screenshotted it.
I absolutely don't think nothing of it. No comment.
Look at Johnny. He's an asshole.
I hear you on that.
Johnny better be careful. Because if I was Gil, I'd be like, I see you, Johnny. Next reunion, try that shit again. If I ever see you again, laughing at my fucking pain.
Listen to me. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say this. I want to thank all of our YouTube subscribers because this Thanksgiving weekend, we have gotten so many views on our YouTube channel on our last episode last week. And we have gotten like so many new subscribers. It's incredible. I want to thank everybody for subscribing, but look at here, start a petition because you got 1, 2, 3. You got 1, 2, 3 new experts here. If we don't have to have MD or doctor.
Is that true?
No.
Oh.
Michaela.
Look, we need. Oh Lord, Jesus, Johnny and Merle. Yes, they all
don't even insult Oscar like that. Don't even insult.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, don't disrespect Oscar. But I'm just saying, we could be the new experts. So look at here, YouTube. Oh, Amelia and Bennett. I can't believe it, but I can believe it because of that last episode. Remember on Amelia and Bennett's episode where she said to him, and that was a red flag for him. She was like, oh, I'm going to kind of be sad when all the cameras go away. And I did this because I wanted to be on camera and I wanted to get a little shine. She said that. And he was like, oh shit. What does it say? So Pam realized that Johnny and Merle are thirsty. Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Wow, Johnny, you are a huge ass. He loves her. Yeah.
He is. He's a horrible person.
Don't lie. And I want the people to make us the new experts. Come on, y'all. What does it say? The reunion.
Thank you.
Any of the horrible things.
Exactly.
None of them went there because we all saw that she was deflated, like a total verbal abuse victim, and she like sunken in. Oh yeah, we're done.
But this is what I meant.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
You missed that, Shahida.
I know. I saw.
Shahida, you gotta watch the Where Are They Now? And they all went to a retreat. Before we end, we didn't touch upon that. They all went to a weekend retreat. Gil opted. Gil didn't go. Brett didn't go. and Michaela didn't go. And that's when I said, remember when I said Johnny lets Bao take up too much real estate in his head?
Yeah.
Watch the Where Are They Now and the retreat, because he shows his ass.
Well, why didn't you say that, Pastor Cal?
Yeah, he should have said something. They should have went more into it. And disappointed in the experts.
To your point, Tanya, was it you who kept saying that? No, you were saying that Jose was emotionally abusive, but it was Johnny as well. And none of those experts, after talking about and after seeing her and like Kevin, nobody addressed that. And we all saw that. And as women, you know, especially, and that's why it was so shocking that Marla was just so quick to jump on his jock after, you know, his marriage was over. It was like we all clearly saw how emotionally abusive he was. No one called it out. No one called it out.
No one called it. And I was disgusted in that.
I'm petitioning too. These experts, they're not experts. They suck.
I think we'd be better experts.
I think there's a shitload of people, just regular people, that would do a much better job than what they did. I think
Gil needs to replace Jamie Otis, because we already know Jamie Otis is gone from doing the what's after the thing, whatever that shit is. I think Gil is either going to replace her. If they're smart, they'll either make Gil the replacement of Jamie Otis, or they'll give Gil his own spin-off show, because Gil needs to find the love of his life. I could possibly be the love of his life, but I'm a whole fucking 20 years older than him, and I'm sorry. He's fine and all, but I can't do that.
We too old to be like thinking about some children. I'd be like,
oh yeah, there's no children. No, we're good here. But I think with the experts, I think it's time to get some new experts. I do like Pastor Cal, don't get me wrong, but I think Pastor Cal just kind of like let himself go, as far as, you know, Pastor Cal in the beginning was just showing everybody, like telling everybody the tea. But now he's just kind of like, I think we need some new meat up in there. And I think
he was calling it in from his car at one time. Dude,
that was the one time. One time he had a call in. He called in from his car. And I'm like, dude.
You need to be up in Johnny's face. You need to go in person and have this discussion.
For sure. He needs to be up in his face.
All right.
Let's put season 13 to bed, to rest.
Let's put it to bed. Clink, 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 my empty glass. Pop, pop, pop. We will see you.
I only took one sip.
We're going to be, see, Shahida, you cray. We're going to be back with some more Still Dope podcasts, but we're putting this Married to First Sight season 13 to bed. We will see you. Well, we're going to be back for some other podcasts, but we will see you for Married at First Sight in January, because it's coming to Beantown, people. Come on, Shahida, Austin. Let's show up, and do not disrespect us like them motherfuckers disrespected Houston. Jesus. Love you guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch us on all your platforms of your podcast. We love you. We appreciate the love, especially this weekend. Y'all really showed up and showed out for us and followed us, subscribed, and watched. Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Peace out. I'll see you all in a week, but we'll be talking in January.
Yes, we're gonna chop it up. But we got some other stuff coming, some other content to fill in.
Yep.
So